Welcome to Real Estate Exposed, helping people in San Diego buy, sell, and refinance their biggest investment, delivering you timely truths, exposing important issues, and helping you get into the right home. Here are your hosts, real estate expert Daniel Beer, top-ranked professional by sales volume at one of San Diego's largest brokerages, and his mortgage partner, Todd Pianin, with over $2 billion in funded loans.
Hey, good to be back with you here on a beautiful Sunday morning. There's so much going on that I can't wait, Todd can't wait to bring to you. I'm Daniel Beer, #1 Keller Williams agent by sales volume in San Diego County. And my man here, Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank. What's happening, Todd?
Well, sorry I wasn't here last Sunday, but you got, your business went absolutely bananas, and we had 31 cross qualifications on 2 houses that you sold.
So
let's just talk about this. I mean, you were here doing the radio show, and I'm with my son on spring break, and I'm trying to have a good time, and my phone is blowing up.
So over the weekend, and
last weekend.
Over the weekend, last weekend, we had 3 of our 5-day Blitz programs take effect, and we had the big grand opening, and it was just amazing what happened. Okay, amazing to see what happened. Different parts of the county, too, by the way. And then there was a 4th property where we didn't necessarily have the grand opening for, but we had brought it back to market because we had some mold remediation issues that we had to work through. Those got fixed. We brought it back to market. So here's what we experienced. And these homes, just so you understand, some of them were homes, some of them were condos, and I'll actually describe them. We're talking about a townhouse in the UTC area in La Jolla.
Right.
It's actually officially La Jolla, but kind of feels like UTC. It's on that side of La Jolla. We had a home in Escondido. We had a condo in Sabre Springs and a home in Lakeside. So 4 completely different markets across the county, and what we experienced was absolutely bananas, okay? Absolutely bananas.
You made a deal with me that I could spend the day with my son for spring break. Instead, you bring these 4 homes on the market, and not Dan's cell phone number, but my cell phone number is attached to most of these because Dan likes to get everyone cross-qualified before they write an offer. And my phone just went bananas, Dan.
So we had 37 offers come through so far on the 4 properties. Thankfully, thank God, they're all now under contract.
That's awesome.
So that the phones have, just subsided here for a moment, even though we'll kick them back up because this weekend we've just had another 5 grand openings on other properties. But the big implication here, aside from the fact that, yes, our 5-day Blitz will take the current market environment and put rocket fuel on it, and really have you taking advantage of buyer psychology and having them competing against one another instead of the buyers being focused on competing with you, the seller. Let's have them focused on competing against one another. But what's underneath all that? What is the current market environment? And
it's crazy.
We've talked long about inventory levels being low, but they are ultra low. I mean, they're creeping back under 2 months inventory.
Really?
And what we're seeing is that pricing is unpredictable as far as where it will go. I mean, one of these properties sold for $35,000 over the asking price. Another one of them sold for $20,000 over the asking price. One of them sold for $6,000 over the asking price, and the other sold for $16,000 over the asking price.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So do you attribute this to your selling method, which is completely different, and where you got the home selling seminars coming up, which Dan will talk about in a little bit? But do you attribute the prices going higher because of how you market the properties, or is it just there's just so low inventory that people are just willing to just pay whatever they have to pay?
No, it's absolutely both, because it's not like I'm the only guy in town being able to sell homes. Okay,
Right.
So you can sell your home not working with me. Of course you could.
Right.
And the difference, though, is, instead of having 12 offers, you might have had 3.
Yeah, but you got you got 4 deals that all went over the asking
Absolutely.
price.
Instead of selling for $35,000 over the ask, you might have sold at ask or $5,000 over ask. So does our process add a ton of value and basically make it just adds so much value by being able to get take the current environment and make people compete against one another in a very strategic, very specific way, which we actually will lay out for you at our home selling workshops coming up in May 17th, 18th, and 19th, and we'll give you information on getting your free tickets for that in a moment. But the actual selling environment in general is one where buyers, they're desperate to find the right house. And so when you take that environment and marry it to a really smart process, what you get is an incredible result. But why is inventory so low? I mean, what can you think of, Todd, and why are owners just hanging on so tightly to their homes? Inventory is so low right now, and we really need more product to be able to show buyers. And buyers, by the way, have to really, if there's ever been a time,
now's the time.
If there's ever been a time
right.
to get yourself aligned with a buyer specialist, it's now.
It is now.
Because you need somebody that can put you ahead of the market.
Right.
Somebody that can actually show you more than just the next home that pops up on Zillow.
Right.
Everybody's looking at that.
Right.
But can you get ahead of the market and actually engage an agent that has more available to them? You know, Brian on our team, the guy, the 20-something% of the homes he sells actually never even came on market because he's getting ahead of the market. And the reason he's able to do so is that buying is his one and only focus in his life.
He's actually searching for. He consults with the client, and he actually finds the buyers. He finds their dream homes basically before they even hit the market. A lot of times,
you know, it's interesting because home sellers, they've long known that they need to hire somebody to go to work for them, but home buyers, they tend to, you know, call this sign, call that sign, you know, go in a magazine, call somebody there, go online, call someone there, send a Zillow inquiry.
Right.
And all of a sudden they have like 7 people interacting with them, but not necessarily working for them.
Right.
And so it's just interesting how not all buyers have really caught on to the idea that you actually go and hire a specialist that can go way deeper for you than just showing you the next property that everybody else is looking at too.
We have clients, Dan, right now that are not from your team that are working with multiple real estate agents on. I mean, they've got a real estate agent for this area, a real estate agent for this area, a real estate agent for this area. So we're sending out pre-qual forms when they're writing offers all across the county, and they're only using, you know what I mean? They're like, no, we're not working with that agent for this home. We're working with this agent for this home. It's just kind of, it's just a weird time in the market. I mean, inventory low. Buyers are kind of acting a little weird. I mean, not the buyers that we work with from your team, but
in general,
it's the buyers are acting weirder. Interest rates are at an all-time low, so people are actually can pay less in a mortgage payment than they can pay in rent because rents have gone up. We've talked about it. It's
fueling everything.
And the spark has just kind of gone crazy.
I don't think the Fed, by the way, was wrong in wanting higher rates. It just for some reason didn't work out the way that they expected it to work out based on global economic factors that then brought so much more money back into the treasuries and then drove those rates down. But if you're thinking about selling your home, the big call to action here, the big sort of wake-up moment is that if you're selling your home in 2 months and 3 months and 4 months.
Even a year from now, right?
In a year from now, right now, literally right now, we're taking on listings at higher prices than we would have typically wanted to take them on at.
Right.
And then we're still selling them with multiple offers above that price.
That's unbelievable.
And again, it's not just me and my team that are successfully being able to sell homes. This is what the market environment looks like. Yes, our system can put rocket fuel on this thing for you and really, amplify those results. But all I'm trying to say is, if you have a plan for 3 or 4 or 5, 6 months from now, you really may want to look at accelerating that, because right now we can't even predict where some of these prices are going, and we're just consistently surprised week in and week out. It's something that you really ought to take a look at, take advantage of if you're thinking about selling. This doesn't mean that if you're not thinking about selling, you should go and run and put your home on the market. We are not ever wanting to, drive fear into, hey, you're going to lose all your equity if you don't sell now. That's not how we operate. Do not do that.
No, we're seeing, in the UT this week, they came out and said that they're, 5% higher in market price?
Pricing 5.1% higher month over month from February to March. So this March compared to last February, 5.1% higher in pricing. And new homes, this was a shocker here, new home prices jumped by 28.1%. And that leads us to something that we want to talk about on the other side of this on the other side of the break. New homes, how that is priced, what a seller should look at when they're considering the sale of their home versus a new home and pricing one against the other. And if you're buying, understanding the new home premium that will be baked into your pricing should you choose to buy new. There's a lot that you have to consider there, and then we're also going to share with you ways in which you can then help drive that new home price back down. That's coming up at the other side of the break. You're listening to Real Estate Exposed on News Radio 600 here with Dan Beer and Todd Pianin. And one quick reminder for you, the home selling workshops are coming up, and we're going to have so much timely information to talk about. These are workshops that are not about us. They're just simply information where you lay out the process. So many people have already attended them and then been able to implement a smarter strategy to make more money on the sale of your home and on your terms. The number for the workshops is 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420. The tickets are free. They're taking place May 17th, 18th, and 19th all across the county. We have 6 different workshops coming up. They're only an hour and a half long. You choose the one that fits for you, and the lunchtime ones even include the boxed lunch. We are really looking forward to all the new information we're packing into the coming workshops just because the current environment calls for it. Coming up next, we're going to be back with you and discussing taking advantage of the current market, which is unique as it's ever been. Welcome back. Segment number 2 here on Real Estate Exposed. I'm Daniel Beer, Keller Williams Realty.
Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank.
We are your loyal hosts.
We'd love to be here every Sunday with you.
We're talking about the current selling environment in San Diego County. Things are unpredictable right now as far as how high pricing is going on so much property. We're seeing multiple offers on nearly everything we're doing. Our 5-day Blitz program, which used to procure, 2, 3, 4 offers, it's recently been giving us 10 offers, 12 offers, 15 offers, and pricing is going beyond where we where we could have possibly expected it to go. And there's a mortgage implication to this. Todd, as a mortgage expert in San Diego County in Southern California, truly a mortgage expert, what will be happening if pricing continues to increase? Because we had a 5.1% increase in home prices from year over year from last February to this March.
Right.
5.1% increase. Now, I admittedly thought that this year we'd be looking at maybe 2, 3, 4% appreciation, but it's looking like it could be more based on the stubbornness of these low rates,
right,
and the eye-poppingly low inventory. So if that continues to drive home pricing up, what do you see happening as far as mortgage, whether it be in terms of loan limits, rates, programs, and what kind of financing is starting to pop into the marketplace that you weren't seeing before? What are you seeing happening? What are the changes there?
Well, a lot of exciting things will happen. So next year, if the median home price in San Diego goes up, Fannie Mae will increase their loan limits, which means the conforming loan limit will go up from 417 to a higher number, which will be great for consumers for next year. Also, the high balance conforming will also go up. So that's exciting news that'll happen. We'll find out those numbers probably December of this year.
So that means that people will be able to borrow more money at still the preferred lower rate?
Correct. But what we're also finding, Dan, which has been pretty incredible, is new programs are popping up that you can put less money down on higher priced homes.
What are you seeing?
We've got a program rolling out, I think, in the next 2 weeks that you can put down on a $1.5 million home 10%.
Whoa, what?
10% down on a $1.5 million home.
10% down on a $1.5 million home. Does that require you to carry a second?
Nope. One loan.
One loan. And is that a portfolio loan? Or is that a Fannie Mae loan?
It's not a Fannie Mae loan. It's an investor that we have that's coming on board.
So this is unique to you.
This is going to be unique. It's unique to a couple of different, I would say, institutions, but more unique to us.
Fair enough.
We also have. We're also going to have some crazy pricing coming out in the next couple of weeks. That we made a couple deals with some big insurance companies. So you're going to see on some of the, we're going to be able to compete with some of the big boys that we've talked about. Like on interest rates for very well qualified buyers. We're also seeing in the high balance category, we're also seeing the ability to do one loan. What I mean by high balance, that's a loan limit to 578 and some change. We're seeing we're rolling out in 2 weeks a competitively priced program that we can do one loan to 90%, no mortgage insurance.
So there's no PMI and insurance?
No PMI, don't need to do a first and second combination. We have one loan that is more competitive. I priced it yesterday with our head of marketing, or excuse me, last week. I priced it because we haven't rolled it out. It's not going to roll out until the first or second week of May. I priced it out against our competitors out there on the street. Our pricing's better on one loan than them doing loan plus mortgage insurance. It's a unique product, and they only picked a handful of people across the country to give this product to, and we're going to be delegated for it, and it's going to be great for those people trying to purchase a home with 5% down, doing one loan, not having the mortgage insurance, because a lot of people who make too much money can't even write off the mortgage insurance. So it's great to have this one loan opportunity.
So you're saying $100,000 gets you into $1 million home. You're saying
yes, sir, I am. I can do that now. We can do that now.
$70,000 gets you into a $700,000 home.
Yes.
That's impressive.
We're also coming out with a 5% to $1 million.
5% to $1 million. So
$50,000 will get you into $1 million home.
First of all, if you want to take advantage of any of this, or just talk to Todd, pick his brain, find out what the rate would be exactly on a program like this, call in 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420, and you'll be speaking with the branch vice president at Home Street Bank, Todd Pianin himself here, who is in studio with me every Sunday morning. But Todd, what direction then is this all going in? Are we headed back to stated loans? Are we headed back to where if you just exist, you get a loan?
No, we're not headed back because you still have to qualify, and there's still reserve requirements.
They're looking at tax returns.
They're looking at tax returns, looking at income, and it's just certain people who are very well qualified just don't have a big down payment to buy the home they need to buy.
But they have excellent credit history.
Excellent credit history, great income, but maybe they have lots of kids, lots of expenses. They're not able to save as much, or they put a lot of money in their 401k. There's all different types of reasons.
Some people just defer a lot to retirement.
Or somebody just got a big promotion, right? We've seen a lot of times, you and I have dealt with clients that have gone from who got a big promotion, a big bump in their salary, so they haven't had the time to accumulate the savings.
Yep.
And then we can put them into these programs, and you can sell them a higher priced home. What I think is happening is I think that the belief out there is that values are still rising. So by putting less money down, we're still in a safe position.
And we see a lot of that with high bonused professionals, such as attorneys.
Right.
Somebody just made partner.
Right.
And they still haven't experienced that partner bonus, but it's coming a month from now or 3 months from now or whatever it might be.
Right.
And so you can qualify them based on their current earnings.
Correct.
But like you said, they just haven't accumulated those savings over a long enough period of time to have the 20-30% down.
Correct.
That's awesome. One
of the things I want to talk about real quick, Dan, before we flip, is on refinances. If you are in a conforming loan or a high balance loan, we can use current appraised value. So meaning if you bought your house 3 months ago and we've seen the values increase by 5%, you put down 5%, and we now have seen values go up by 5%, we can refinance you and potentially put you into a better loan because we can use today's current value.
So what I'm hearing is that people should be speaking with their mortgage professional at least at least twice a year.
At least.
Just touching base. Hey, what's going on out there? What's my current home worth? Am I in the right loan? Am I not in the right loan? Is there cheaper money for me? And will it cost me anything to get into it? And often the answer to that is no, it won't cost you anything other than the time to do some paperwork.
Correct.
But if you have time available for some paperwork, we could drop your payment by $100, $200, $300 a month.
Correct.
Give us a shout. Connect with us if you want to talk to Todd about anything loan related. Give him a ring. Give me a ring if we can help you buy or sell or put a process in place to maximize the value of your home right now. Number's 888-676-2420. Daniel Beer, the Daniel Beer Group, Keller Williams Realty, and Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank. Coming up next, we're going to be discussing those new homes. If you're selling, how do you compare yourself to one appropriately? And if you're buying, you need to be aware of the new home premium. That's next. Welcome back. Real Estate Exposed, segment 3. Already here at the bottom half of the hour. It's gone by quick. Daniel Beer, I'm with you. Daniel Beer Group, Keller Williams Realty. Anything we could do to help you buy or sell, please just get in touch with our team. Daniel Beer. Beer is spelled just like the drink.
Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank. You can find Todd, Taisha. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us. You can Google us. You can Yelp us. You can Zillow us. We're all over the place. We love if you need to get in touch with us. And Dan will also give you a number a little bit. Dan, so talk to me about this new home stuff that you've been kind of pumping up a little bit.
Well, when you look at, the fact that new home pricing went up 20-something% over last year.
Really?
When normal sales, resales, went up 5.1% year over year.
Right.
Going back last February, this March. Why the disparity in that?
Yeah,
and which led me to just realize that we need to make you aware if you're thinking about selling your home and there's new construction nearby and you're wanting to price yourself against the new construction.
Right.
It can be a very frustrating experience for a potential home seller. And the reason it could frustrate you is, let's just say you're down the street, there's new construction, and the new construction's selling for $800,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you say to yourself, yeah, well, that's $800,000, but then they still need to upgrade the property, and then they still need to build out the backyard, and by the time it's all said and done, they're going to be at $1 million.
Right.
So I should price at $1 million.
Because I have all that stuff.
Because I already have that in.
Right.
And it's actually almost very difficult to articulate why it isn't that way, because that's actually the way it should be.
Right.
But I don't fight nature and what's been proven for decades and decades and decades, which is that new construction will simply sell at a higher valuation than resale. And it's hard to make sense of it because, yes, the new construction buyer will have to, put all that money into the upgrades and put all the money into all the backyard. And, as we know, they just get a dirt lot and they have to go and spend a lot of money. But people are really attracted to new construction. The builders know that, and that's why they have, it's new and they feel like they've kind of built it from ground up and it's first in. It's the same reason why, if I had a really high-end polo shirt, just to say.
Right.
And it was in pristine condition, but I had already worn it 5 or 6 times and then resold it to you. It's just simply going to sell for less than if it was the exact same shirt in the same condition off the rack.
Because people like new.
People will pay a premium for new. And we're going to focus on that in just a moment as far as how that affects buyers.
But Dan, I have to ask. Okay, go ahead.
But if you're selling your home, you need to compare yourself to resales around you. Yes, you can be aware of the new construction, and in fact, you should be. But what you really should be aware of is that, if resale around you is $800,000 or so, and you're looking at new construction nearby, and that's, $900,000, but you're then saying to yourself, well, they need to upgrade this, and put in all the upgrades, et cetera. So maybe I'll sell my home for $900 or $950, even though all the resale around me is selling for $800. What you're going to find is you're not going to sell your home. And then what you're going to find is that what you've really done is your home has now been used to encourage people to actually buy the new construction. Because when it only takes a $50,000 or so jump, $100,000 jump to go from resale to new, a lot of people, if they can afford the time to wait for new, will go new. And you've essentially sold a home for that big builder. What you cannot look at that. You have to ignore it. And you just have to understand that buyers will pay a premium for new construction. And you must position yourself competitively versus the resale that's around you. Now,
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I mean, so like my buddy bought a new construction.
Right.
He's been in the house now for 4 months, I think, something like that. He still doesn't have blinds. Because I mean, it's like it's a big house,
and he also couldn't resell the home for what he just paid.
No way, but exactly. I mean, but for me, I mean, if I'm gonna sell my home, and you and I have talked about selling, putting my home on the market. I mean, I like having blinds. I like being able to sleep in.
You like privacy and sleep.
Sleep, yeah. I mean, he wakes up. he at the crack of dawn every morning when the sun comes up because he's got no blinds in his whole entire house.
See, I would actually like that, but my wife would kill me.
Exactly. Well, a lot of people like it, right? I mean, a lot of people, which is amazing. What's amazing to me, and I understand the philosophy of going with other resales, but people don't realize what like little things cost.
Oh, it costs a fortune, and that's actually part of the frustration for the person that some of these people reselling. They actually purchased new and experienced putting all that money into it.
Right.
And it's just a very frustrating process. But look, like I said, I'm not going to fight the laws of nature and in buyer behavior that's been completely established decade over decade over decade. Buyers will pay more for new construction, and that then turns the table on this conversation. If you're buying and you're going to buy new construction, just do so understanding that you are buying with a new construction premium built into the pricing. And by the way, that's okay. Both of the homes that I've last purchased were new construction. So it doesn't mean that new construction's bad. I like it, okay? I did it. I did it with my eyes wide open, though. And that's the point, is that when I purchased my home, I knew I was going into it where if I needed to turn around and sell it immediately, there's no way I was getting out clean, not at least for a few years, so that the market could move and I could recuperate, all the closing costs that are involved, and most importantly, I can recoup that new construction premium. It's just something that happens. Now, in San Diego County, this is a new concept for a lot of people because we still remember, and it's amazing how fast time has gone, by the way, since like the 04, 05, 06 boom, and especially there were so many people downtown buying new construction,
right,
and then immediately flipping it for a big profit.
Right.
But we have to understand what was going on. Appreciation was at an absolutely unsustainable, accelerated pace, and a lot of these people that were making all that money, they were in the very first phase where the market was moving at such a crazy pace. Anybody could qualify for a loan. There was zero worry in anybody's mind that, that pricing would ever go down. People thought we were headed to, to starter homes at $10 million. I'm exaggerating, but it kind of feels like that's what people thought.
Right.
And what people were doing was actually positioning themselves into new construction communities or buildings downtown in phase 1, phase 2, and selling their position. They wouldn't even close on the property, or they would concurrently close and sell to somebody right at the closing.
I remember that.
And then, yes, they were turning nice profits.
Right.
But that was then.
That's not happening now, right?
Not at all. Not even with what we've just been discussing regarding the accelerated pace of the market.
Right.
We just met with a couple in my neighborhood in Del Sur, and really wonderful house, but it was new construction that they purchased, and something changed in their situation at work. They're now moving and being relocated, and no, you're not going to be able to just turn around 7 months later and get all your closing costs out, all your commissions out, all of the upgrades out, all of your backyard work out, and the new construction premium out, and make money, which people want to do.
Right.
It's not going to happen. I mean, the reality is that if I was sitting there with you 7 months ago and you said, Dan, I'm thinking about buying this home, but I'm going to sell it 7 months from now, I would have told you not to buy it.
Right.
I would say, no, wait.
Well, no, you did.
Don't buy it.
You did that with me. We went and looked at, you took me to a new home project, right? And we looked at one of the lots, and you just said, Todd, for this kind of money, you're paying a lot premium. You're doing all this. I can find you much better resales at with much better value.
You have to be aware of that. And again, this is not to condemn new construction.
Right.
I love new construction.
Right.
In fact, a lot of my business revolves around reselling what was recently new construction and around putting people in new construction.
Right.
And I myself have purchased new construction my entire life. I've purchased other properties as investments, but everywhere my family has lived happened to be new construction. But I'm doing it with my eyes wide open. Are you doing it with your eyes wide open? Understand what you're getting into and understand what needs to happen in order for you to get out of it. Now, here's something else I'll leave you with. Because so many people have such heartache over getting every last penny out of their home, about not being, not losing, quote unquote, losing a dime on their home. And I get it, but it's, living isn't free.
Right.
And it's amazing how I watch, multi-$100,000 deals fall apart over $5,000, $10,000, or frankly, sometimes over a refrigerator. And what happens is that same person that just didn't put their family into the right home over 5 or 10K, then turns around, buys a fancy car, drives it off the lot, and the car's immediately worth 20K less. Well, what I'm trying to tell you is people are always doing nice things for themselves in their private life, in their, their hobbies, their vacations, their whatever they're into. Your home you're going to live in the thing. Your family is going to be there. If you're going to enjoy your home for 2 years, for 3 years, for 5, for 6 years, and yeah, you took a $10,000 loss and you amortized that over 6 years, so $6,000 a year to have your family in the right place. I'm not saying that's the right move for everybody, but for many people, it's going to be okay. And by the way, you get to write it off and get part of it back from the government.
I agree with you. I mean, I just put a new refrigerator in my house, and we've talked about listing my house over and over again, and I know that I paid a lot of money for my new refrigerator. I know if you sell my house in 2 or 3 months, I'm not getting that money back. Somebody else is going to get the benefit of me wanting to have a nice refrigerator in my house, just a benefit. But if I come to you and say, Dan, I want to get the money back from my refrigerator, you're going to tell me it ain't going to happen. And I knew that going into it. But as long as I'm in the house, I wanted to have something I could enjoy.
Give us a shout. There's so many personal things that we can go into here as far as how it affects you and your situation. And sometimes, frankly, it's going to be okay because there's so much equity there right now in this moment that we're being able to capture for sellers that we couldn't have imagined would be there and that our sellers couldn't have imagined would be there. Let's go take advantage of that together. The number to give us a call at is 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420. Daniel Beer, Todd Pianin, Real Estate Exposed. We're with you back on News Radio 600 KOGO. Back with you here for the final segment of Real Estate Exposed on News Radio 600 KOGO. Daniel Beer, Keller Williams Realty with Todd Pianin, Home Street Bank, and we're going to be talking very quickly, begging, pleading, get out there and sign that petition, that vote,
you need 67,
whatever it is they call the thing to just get the Charger Stadium.
We want the Chargers to stay here in San Diego, people,
and you too.
And we need you to sign the petition to get it on the ballot. We need you to do it right away. Google, there's tons of places that you can sign the petition. They need 67,000 signatures to get them on the ballot. Dan and I have talked about this multiple times, how important it is for us to have a Charger team, a football team here, an NFL team here in San Diego, and what it'll do for the economy, what it does for home values,
for happiness,
for happiness, for a great Sunday,
for happiness.
Yes,
we're talking with Joe McShane from our team the other day, and he's from Minnesota, he's from Minneapolis, and I was just I asked Joe because I happen to know a lot of people from Minneapolis. I said, Joe, why do I know so many people from Minneapolis? But anyway, that led to he just made a comment that struck me. He said, well, Minneapolis, it's a big-time Midwestern city. And the next thing he said, we weren't discussing sports, we weren't discussing the stadium. The next thing he said was, there are 4 major sports teams in the city.
Right.
That was his next thing he said. He didn't even talk about their 10,000 lakes and their this or that. That's the next thing he said. And he's right. Look, if you were, as an example, down at Petco Park or just anywhere downtown, at opening day,
the buzz was crazy.
It was amazing what was going on in the city. It felt incredible to be part of a world-class city. The streets were buzzing. People were happy. People were out in the sun. We were joining each other as a community, and we want to do that and expand the development opportunities that are going to exist deep into East Village, deep into even creeping into the Sherman Heights neighborhoods and the Grant Hill neighborhoods and the Barrio Logan neighborhoods. There is going to be a wonderful
boom.
Just a wonderful boom of development, of life, of excitement, of condos, of business, and trust me, business. Look at Sempra.
Right.
Sempra just relocated their entire building and built a building ground up in East Village because they want to be a part of that neighborhood versus where they were.
Right. They want to be part of the buzz.
And it's something that I think is incredibly important. Get it at least on the ballot. How about that?
Yes.
Okay, let them make their case. Let the naysayers make their case, but let's allow a case to be made on both sides. And to do that, it needs to be on the ballot. Google how you can get your signature on this petition. 67,000 signatures needed. Go out, find a way to get your signature on it. Tell your kids, tell your wife, tell your in-laws, your grandparents. Get everybody to sign it. Let's get this thing on. And in fact, instead of 67,000, let's double or triple that number and start this off.
But let's
with good momentum.
let's approve it once it's on the ballot too. I mean, it doesn't cost us anything. I mean, it's just costing the tourists, basically, is what's going to happen.
Correct. So we want to talk about those home selling workshops that people have been asking us about. And, we've started teasing the home selling workshop here on the show, letting you be among the first to know. But the rest of San Diego is starting to find out. People are asking us, what's going to be new, and what are we going to learn at these workshops? These are the workshops where if you're thinking of selling your home and you want to make more money, if you want to make upwards of $62,000 more on the sale of your home than you otherwise would have, if you want to learn the right staging techniques, if you want to understand how to present a home properly, how to use buyer psychology in your favor to create a negotiating advantage, and the real step-by-step, the secret sauce behind our trademark 5-day blitz process that we have used to successfully sell 122 homes last year. I believe the number right now is 66 homes this year alone. This year to date.
Unbelievable.
A process that has us among the very top real estate producers in the country across all companies. And here's the thing. We're going to actually just show you everything, the process, the steps, the psychology, the reasoning, the why behind all of it, so that you can then get it implemented with whoever it is you choose to trust the sale of your home to.
For free.
It is just information for you to take with you and just reach out for those free tickets. The tickets are free. They're coming up on May 17th, 18th, and 19th, different parts of the county, different times during lunchtime and after work. There's going to be a good one for you. And the number to get those tickets is 800-676-2420. 800-676-2420. It's been a wonderful Sunday morning with you. On behalf of the rest of the Daniel Beer Group, thank you so much.
Todd Keanan, Home Street Bank, member of the FDIC, equal housing lender, NMLS ID number 304014. Have a great weekend.